Some people don't struggle because they lack talent. They struggle because they have too much of it, too many ideas, too many things they could become, too many possible lives pulling them in different directions. And from the outside, it looks inspiring. People say, "Wow, you're so multi-talented. You have so many passions. You could do anything." But what they don't see is how exhausting it feels to want everything. If you've ever felt like your mind is full of unfinished dreams, this is about you. Imagine someone like Maya. Maya is the kind of person who has never been bored a day in her life. Her brain is always alive, always reaching. One month she wants to start a business. Next month she wants to learn graphic design. Then she's obsessed with fitness. Then she wants to write a book. Then she discovers investing. Then she wants to start a YouTube channel. Then she thinks about going back to school. Her interests arrive like waves, strong, exciting, convincing. And every time a new passion appears, it feels like destiny. She tells herself, "This is it. This is my thing." And for a few days, or weeks, she is unstoppable. If you relate, you know that feeling, that rush of inspiration, that new identity forming in your mind, the excitement of imagining yourself finally becoming someone. But then, something always happens. The excitement fades, the routine begins, progress slows, and Maya's brain starts searching again for the next spark, the next idea, the next possible version of herself. And this is the first psychological truth. People with too many interests often confuse excitement with purpose. Excitement is emotional. Purpose is sustained. Excitement comes quickly. Purpose stays when excitement leaves. But many people never reach purpose because they keep chasing the feeling of beginning. Maya doesn't quit because she's lazy. That's what people misunderstand. She quits because the beginning is intoxicating. The middle is quiet. The middle requires patience. And Maya's mind doesn't like silence. It likes stimulation, newness, possibility. One night Maya sits on her bed, scrolling through her own notes, half-written plans, course ideas, unfinished projects, business names she never registered, a book outline with only chapter 1 completed, workout programs abandoned after 2 weeks, and she suddenly feels something heavy. Not failure, not sadness exactly, something deeper, fragmentation, like her life is split into 100 directions, and none of them are becoming real. She whispers to herself, "Why can't I just pick one thing?" And that question alone is the heart of this topic. Because psychology shows too many interests is often not a motivation problem. It's an identity problem. When you don't fully know who you are yet, every new interest feels like a possible answer. Maybe I'm an entrepreneur. Maybe I'm an artist. Maybe I'm a writer. Maybe I'm a fitness person. Maybe I'm meant for something bigger. So you keep reaching, not because you love too many things, but because you're trying to find yourself inside them. The next week, Maya meets an old friend named Claire. Claire is calm in a way Maya isn't. Claire has one career, one direction. Not because she's less talented, but because she's anchored. Maya blurts out, "I feel like I want to do everything, and it's ruining me." Claire listens quietly. Then she asks a simple question. "Do you want to do everything, or are you afraid of choosing the wrong thing?" Maya freezes, because that's exactly it. Here is the second psychological truth. People with many interests often struggle with fear of commitment, because commitment feels like closing doors. If you pick one path, you lose the fantasy of the others, and fantasies feel safe. They have no risk, no failure, no discipline. Choosing one thing means stepping into real limitation, and that terrifies the mind. Maya says softly, "What if I pick the wrong thing and waste my life?" And so many people listening feel that. The pressure of choosing, the fear of regret, the thought that the life is one decision away from disappointment. But Claire says something important. You're already wasting time, not because you chose wrong, but because you refuse to choose at all. That sentence stings because it's true. Maya realizes something painful. Her problem isn't lack of ability, it's overload. She has too many open loops in her mind. And psychology confirms this. The brain experiences unfinished goals as mental weight. Every unfinished dream takes up space. Your mind becomes crowded. Rest feels impossible. Because part of you is always thinking, I should be doing something else. That's why people with too many interests often feel restless. Not because they're unmotivated, because they're mentally overstimulated. Claire tells Maya, your interests are not the problem. Your lack of focus is. Maya sighs. But I don't want to lose parts of myself. Claire nods. Focus doesn't mean losing yourself. It means finally building something real with one part of yourself. Then Claire explains something most people never hear. Having many interests is not a curse. It's a sign of high openness. Psychologists call it openness to experience. It's linked to creativity, curiosity, deep thinking, exploration. People like Maya often have rich inner worlds, but the weakness of openness is scattering. You can become addicted to possibility, and possibility becomes a prison because you live in imagination instead of construction. Maya sits quietly. She realizes she has been living in the future, always planning, always dreaming, but never staying long enough to build. And here is the third psychological truth. Passion is not found. Passion is built. Most people think passion arrives fully formed, but passion grows through depth, through repetition, through mastery, not through endless starting. Maya asks, so what do I do? Claire says, pick one thing for one season. That's it, not forever. Just one season. Give one interest a real chance. Long enough for the boring part. Long enough for the growth part. Long enough for identity to form. Because the truth is, people with many interests often never reach mastery. And without mastery, confidence never fully develops. You stay stuck in beginner energy forever. Always capable. Never established. Maya goes home that night and thinks deeply. She writes all her interests down. Then she asks herself one question. What do I keep coming back to? Not what excites her for 2 days, but what remains, what stays, what feels meaningful even without applause. And she chooses. 1. In the following months, something strange happens. The world becomes quieter. Her mind becomes clearer. She stops chasing every idea like it's an emergency. She learns something powerful. Focus is emotional stability. It's peace. It's maturity. It's saying, I don't need to become everything. I will become something deeply and slowly. For the first time, Maya finishes something, a real project, a real skill, a real foundation. And the confidence she had been searching for arrives not through inspiration, but through completion. So if you are someone with too many interests, please hear this clearly. You are not lazy. You are not unserious. You are not behind. You are overflowing. But overflow without direction becomes overwhelm. Your gift is real, but it needs structure. Your curiosity is powerful, but your future will not be built by curiosity. It will be built by consistency, by choosing one path long enough for it to choose you back. Let me ask you, Have you ever felt like you could be so many things that you ended up stuck?